Me.
Yeah, looks good.
All right. I guess I'll give people a few minutes to jump on, but this is a very impromptu stream of Woozle's Game Boy Advance HDMI.
Cool.
I really wanted to test this thing, and I figured if I'm going to test it, why not just test it live so other people could watch with me? So I've I've recruited Justin, aka the Good Will Hunter, to come home and jump on until he has to go. And then I guess I'll see if one of the roundtable guys wants to jump in instead.
Got some Jack.
Woo.
I should drink some of that too.
I'm out of beer, so I just got wine. But yeah, so.
Yeah, we usually go to happy hour on Fridays. But seeing as how she's pregnant, it kind of stops for a little bit.
Yeah, congratulations on that, by the way. You're gonna have your first kid.
Yeah, sex trophy. The never-ending sex trophy. So yeah, we found out it's gonna be a boy.
Woohoo! A little shit kicker like you.
Collection on. Woo. Bought some really expensive TurboGrafx games.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
All right, I think we're live.
I got this. It's called Battle Chasers Nightmare on the Switch, or Night War. I don't know.
Huh.
Looked like it might be cool. It's supposed to be an RPG. I don't know. That's the problem with Amazon. You know, when you just pre-order that stuff and it just shows up one day.
Yeah.
For like 6 months. Oh, your pre-order is going to ship. It's like, I ordered something.
I hate when that happens. All right, I figure let's just start this off. It's not like I'm playing a game no one's ever seen before. If you could just do me a favor and watch the chat. If anything interesting comes up, let me know, because I am really terrible at doing both the chat and the game.
Gotcha.
I think Mr. I have no Sega CD1 from HDRetrovision's in the chat too. So let me know if the balance is okay with everything.
All right.
Yeah, I like this game so much that, number one, I'll never be able to play the original NES version again. And my quest for the perfect HDMI solution is basically just because of this game. Ooh, all right. Before I start, I gotta change the controller setting. Sorry, false alarm. Almost blew my load too quick there.
What are you using for a controller?
The Super Nintendo controller. That's what Woozle's kit allows. Pretty cool, right?
Okay.
Can you change the... Can you even change the controller options in Fusion?
I don't think I've ever seen where you could do that on GBA.
Damn it. Alright. Maybe it's in... There's a...
You got to beat the game to unlock the option.
Yeah, you never know. I know with the Castlevania game I played on, the beta of this, you were able to change the controller through there. Like status. Nope. No, alright, I guess we're just stuck with it as is.
Yep.
Well, I'll get used to it, I hope.
So how many times have you played this? This is what, the Zero Mission?
Yeah, I mean, played it like for real, not just kind of screwing around. I mean, at least 15 times, I would think. At least. Yeah. Probably, but this was a game that I used to test everything with, so I've played this part of the game like probably hundreds of times at this point. Still can't get my jumps correct though. You know, somebody made a Super Nintendo ROM hack that was like phenomenal for this game, and it was basically just the Super Metroid hack with the map of Zero Mission, but they didn't really take advantage of any of the cool options. Like, I was really hoping they would use MSU1 audio, so you can have the original NES Metroid soundtrack, and I don't know. There was a couple of little things, and then I emailed the developer a couple of times, and he just really didn't. I never heard back, so zero mission it is.
Too much attention to him.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, so I bought some TurboGrafx games. They're just getting so expensive. This is over $100
for Turrican.
Yeah, for Turrican. And like Silent Debuggers for $50.
Really?
Bloody Wolf was another $50 game. It's like I have that, you know, I have the EverDrive that you got from me for Christmas, but for whatever reason, I just like having like the physical media. I just love it.
Yeah, that moving to Manhattan has definitely ruined that for me because.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
I love having original stuff. I love displaying shit on the walls, but I don't have enough room. Like we have like 4 people's worth of cups and fucking plates and stuff.
Yeah,
so
right.
like if we don't do dishes every day, it's like it's a nightmare.
You should just have 1 cup, 1 plate, fork, knife.
Oh,
just wash them as you go.
Like a sad bachelor. Don't even have a kitchen because
exactly.
I just eat at my workbench. Yeah, I've
just
lived that.
throw it out the window when you're done. Just get paper plates. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm running out of space as it is. I just don't know what to do, especially all that Tandy stuff now that I sent down here.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny is your all this Commodore 64 stuff, and then your tweets about having that sent down. I went out and bought a TRS-80 color computer too, which is like Tandy's version of the Commodore 64, which is what I had as a little kid. And I would have much rather had the Tandy 1000, but I could fit the color computer too in a drawer somewhere. So I don't.
Yeah, because one of them is a Tandy 1000, the other one's a Tandy 1000 SX, and I'm trying to figure out.
So I remember exactly what happened. And by the way, for anybody watching this for the actual game, if you don't go into that room, you can't get past the next point. It took me so long to remember that when I started replaying, because I knew where I was supposed to go, but yeah. But anyway, I'd taken apart that original Tandy 1000. I mean, hundreds of times. That was my like original. My parents got that as a kid. Like, it was just something I'd used forever. So it stopped working at one point, or I think one of the drives stopped working. So I bought another one on eBay, and I think that's the SX one. And I was swapping parts around, and it worked fine. And then it was the last time I turned it on was a million years ago. So.
Yeah, it's got like a RAM issue. I don't know if I have to like take some of the chips off one board to like piece together.
And there should be one slotted board, which is a 128K expansion cart. That's right, not Meg's 128K expansion cart to make it 256. So maybe pull that out and boot it bare board or something and see if that works. But
That's the one thing I didn't like about Metroid is those stupid little crab things.
Yeah.
And having to like freeze them and then use them as stepping stools.
Yeah, it was a total pain. Wait, I think I go down from here, right? Because that's save, and then below I think is Norfair or something.
So yeah. We all made it. It's Friday. So, I mean, what changed at your job? It seems like you have more time to do the weekly roundup.
The goal is really to do RetroRGB full-time and then do IT stuff part-time.
Gotcha. Yeah, they just hired a new guy at work. He's going to be like, they're trying to switch the service desk that I'm on. They're trying to like make it more like a selling point for customer service. So they're trying to like make it like tier 2 and get in this new in-contact system where they assign queues to different people based on their skill sets. And this dude, I guess, he's pretty net savvy, but he's trying to come in and like shake things up, so to speak.
Yeah, great. I love those.
Yeah, but he seems like he's a huge nerd, and I know, like, so we had a one-on-one today, and he's got his wedding band has Mickey Mouse like heads all over it, and then he tells me that his kids he's in 3 what do they call them, choir groups, not choir groups, the worship groups. He's a drummer.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of feeling this dude out. You know, as I'm sitting across from him, wearing my friggin' Mario T-shirt with my Nintendo lanyard and my little mini Game Boy notebook.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you get new people in that like shaking things up. You remember what happened to us at that fucking lovely company that we came from? I don't know who's still working there for you, so I don't want to fuck your shit up by naming names or anything, but
no, Joe actually, he was the last one to leave. Lutz isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So they're all gone. I'm the last remaining survivor.
Wow, that is crazy.
And I'm still fixing the units from the previous company and from that previous company. But they're still kicking.
And that was an absolute nightmare for me. Thought for sure.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like past experience, right?
Yep. I could never beat this guy on the first try. Did you ever?
Any hopes for an RGB GBA solution instead of HDMI?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's coming after,
straight
though.
from Takeshu. And this guy looks like he's pissed.
Whoa, that was the first time I beat him on the first try, ever. Somebody in the chat's pissed, or the enemy?
No, I'm
pissed?
saying this crab monster thing. Yeah, he's pretty pissed. I mean, he's got a red eye.
That's pretty funny. I got, yeah, that's cool. I've never beat him on the first try before. That's awesome. I'm getting better. I love this game. Is the, anybody in the chat, just let me know if I need to turn the actual game music up or down. Because when I was testing it before, it sounded like it was absolutely blaring, so I turned it down for a bit.
Let's see, what do I have mine? I want to say I have it maxed. Yeah, if I like max out my speaker, it's kind of very soft.
So I should turn up the game music a little bit?
I think, yeah, because it's really low, but I mean, from us just talking through Skype, it sounds fine. But when the actual stream itself, it sounds soft. I mean, I have it maxed out in the YouTube app, and then also if I max out my actual speakers.
I just turned it up a bit. And so, just a little bit about this Game Boy Advance HDMI kit. I should show some of the features, actually. You can turn different scan lines on. It has his like interpretation of hybrid scan lines and stuff, and it's phenomenal. So the B is basically just horizontal, and A is the actual. I'll play it with them on for a while, although I don't know how it's going to translate while streaming. But A is the full checkerboard to make it look kind of like the actual Game Boy Advance itself, and they have different shaders. I like off. For,
all right, now they're saying it's too loud.
There we go. And palette is for Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. And just to let everybody know too, because of the way my streaming setup is, it's taking the analog audio directly from the headphone jack of the Game Boy Advance. But yeah, it's not. It does support audio over HDMI. I'm just not streaming it that way.
I am live streaming with Bob right now.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Randy.
Hi, Bobby.
He said hi. He's killing Metroids right now. It is. Man. It sounds like the royal wedding has started early. Yes, it has. Electron Ash.
Oh, it's Ash. What's up, dude? Oh, I guess I need business.
Hey Bob, make me a mod here so I can ban Ikashio. iCash-O.
What's up, Dario? Dario. Sorry, I always pronounce that wrong. Oh, I got the thing up. I forgot how to make people mods.
Scott Diggity. Wow, Bob has furniture? I thought he lived in a warehouse.
Almost.
This is Bob's storage unit.
Oh, shit. So I guess you gotta take off in a little bit, right?
What are we doing, babe? We doing anything? Thai food?
Well, if anybody else wants to jump on in place of Justin, I think he's gonna go in like 10 minutes or something. I could do this till about another hour, I think, and then wifey's coming home and I gotta clean up the huge mess that I make every time I set up the streaming equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. Just imagine if you had like a podcast set up too.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be.
Yeah, you do actually.
The new apartment is gonna be just like that. So.
Yeah.
The trick is to make it so it's like you could flip a switch and turn it on, but not have it look like you're doing that. All right, I just changed the scan lines to A2. Let's see how that looks. I don't know if it's coming through the stream very well, but hopefully people can see it. It looks great on my OLED.
Oh yeah? Got comfy? That didn't take you too long.
Dude, I feel like a house.
I gotta go back down, right?
I don't want to carry a child inside of me. I am a human man-child.
Sometimes I don't want to carry a child inside me.
Oh.
Your drinks, your little ambiance.
I do. I have my little menagerie of glasses and paraphernalia.
I got wine.
And Bob's got wine.
I feel like I should do a shot with you before you go to celebrate the new baby.
So Randy just went over to a wine bottle, opened it, and just sniffed it, and got like this look on her face, like, "Oh my god."
I feel you, Randy.
She's gonna savor 3 ounces of wine tonight.
So, for my birthday a million years ago back in Stamford, I think you were there, and I think Paul and Spitta were there, and Spitta was like, I don't know, like 50 months pregnant. She was just like, just had a full-on basketball sitting in front of her. And, you know, it was like day drinking, early fun, and she was hanging out having like, you know, a cranberry juice and something, and everybody that walked by would give her these looks like, oh my god, can you believe that fucking gross girl drinking a vodka and cranberry when she's like 10 months pregnant? And like after about an hour of just really nasty comments and like having to explain to people that it was only a cranberry juice, she talked to the bartender who didn't have any bottled water, so she ended up going next door and she just had to carry a Poland Spring bottle with her just because people were being such douchebags, assuming that she was getting wasted.
Women. Atomizer 0 is scanline A2 vertical lines?
It's both, actually. It's the checkerboard. I'll switch to A3 right now and see the difference. Cat problems?
Our cats like to eat consistently, like every 20 minutes. And then puke. You see Catloaf out there? I did, but then I think he went back out. I don't know. She's on the deck.
Aren't you not supposed to have cats with a pregnant mode or something?
You just don't want them to clean up the cat litter box, or like have them sleep in your bed because they might have like cat feces on them.
So is Randy really pregnant, or is she just tired of cleaning up the cat crap?
No. Did you hear that, babe? Bob asked, "Are you really pregnant, or are you just tired of cleaning up the cat crap?" She says she wishes. Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
No, it was cold, and now it's kind of hot.
I don't know, Justin. Maybe chugging that bottle of Jack might be warming you up a little bit.
It's only like 2 shots. Yes, this is literally 2 shots of whiskey. That's it.
You know what I just remembered? Because we were talking about that company that we worked for. The official day of the buyout, they were already being total douchebags to me. I don't know about you yet, but they said they were going to take us all out for drinks and dinner. I don't know if you remember this, but you and I showed up at the bar early. And then we drank $120 worth of booze on the company tab before dinner had even started.
Was that at SBC or is that at
was that some other place?
The Horseshoe or
Grey Goose or something maybe? Wherever it was one of those Fairfield places.
Yeah. It was like right down the street, right?
Yeah, that was freaking awesome. The look on his face when the waitress came over and was like, "Hey, would you mind just settling up the bill before you go to your seats?" Yeah, no problem. And he used the credit card and it was $120. How much did you guys drink? Like, I don't know, the normal amount.
Yeah, social drinkers.
So this part always really, really pissed me off because the only thing you're fighting for here is that missile tank, right?
Oh yeah.
And I don't have the grip thing yet, so I have to like battle the. Yeah, I'm gonna come back later when I have other stuff because this just sucks.
So I think Nick's gonna take over after I peace out.
Cool. Oh man, if I knew Nick was coming, I would have fired up a Sega CD game.
That's what he was saying.
You know what's funny? The Sega CD one's getting a lot of hate, and the other person that Jose from iFix Retro has instituted a no more Sega CD one rule because he hates working on them. So I think mine was the last one, and I think he came out of retirement just to fix mine because he felt bad because he knew I was needed to sell everything. But they're not easy. That planetary gear, no, not planetary gear, whatever that long pole thingy is that they have, that's what opens up the tray. If that's just a hair out of calibration, or if the plastic breaks, you're totally screwed.
Oh, yeah, dude, that whole freaking alignment on that thing is just it's probably about as bad as when I was trying to fix that Commodore 64 1541 disk drive, and you have to align the head on it. It's like by like the what is it, the hair on a gnat's nuts. But it works. It was only that game that you shipped, that summer games that came with it when you sent me that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that disc was fucked up.
That was one of the things that I found in that just that junk store. I think I got that for like 10 or 20 or something. All right, just switch scan lines to B1. I don't really know what that is, but we'll find out. I probably should have talked to Woozle before doing this, but he's busy all the time. I didn't want to bother him. I didn't even know I was going to have time to do this until like 5 minutes before I set up my streaming thing.
Well, I think we're getting ready to head out here, Bob.
All right, hold on a second. I got to do a shot with you. Hold on.
All right, I got enough for a shot, I think, right here. It's not much.
All right. All I have is that Bullet Bourbon whiskey, but
Bullet.
better than nothing. All right,
Cheers.
man. Cheers to good times and your new baby.
Yes, Kingston.
Like Jamaica or like the memory?
Both.
Sweet. All right, thank you very much, Justin. Nick, if you want to jump on, just give me a call. And I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute break, so everybody stay tuned, please.
Adios.
Later, man.
Peace.
All right, so I guess Nick's not picking up, so I'll just I'll wait for him to call. Let's see, where are we in North here? Whoop, here he comes. Ah, you see me twice? Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect. For once, OBS settings
I don't know
work.
why, but your initial call just didn't come through.
I have all of my Skype settings to mute because every time I've done an interview and somebody posts something in the chat, like it beeps in the interview. So I stopped doing that. So that's why sometimes you call me and I call right back. All the levels still good?
Well, I turned off the volume on the stream because it's gonna. But it sounded good when I left, so.
Cool. And OBS actually did well, so when you called in, it was the window was perfect. It was right where I wanted it to be. I'm getting better at using it.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. But, you know, can't really complain for open source software that much.
Yeah, I've been using XSplit a lot, and I don't know which one I like better, to be honest with you. I think they each have their place.
I've never used that.
It's good. Art knows Sabin knows one of the guys that works on the team, so maybe I could get to interview him, and both to help people looking to do this stuff and do some other fun crap.
So I'm drinking a Christmas ale tonight because it was half off at the liquor store.
Because it's got about a week away from going bad.
The dude piled up all of his Christmas beers and pumpkin beers into just a giant stack and put a 50% off sticker on them. So it's pretty good. It's actually a Belgian ale. And normally a 4-pack costs $28, but I got it for 14, so counting that as a pretty good deal.
Yeah, any kind of beer deals in New York City excite me now. I really got sick of spending $15 on a 6-pack of Coronas, so anytime I can find any kind of deal, I'm happy.
I noticed you said something about like Bullet. That's okay. I actually like Bullet. Particularly their rye is pretty decent. But I don't know. That's just me. I don't think it's a bad whiskey.
I like it. I'm just not a huge whiskey drinker.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to see. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but there's like a stutter, and I think it's the stutter is actually Samus walking up and down. I don't think it's. Yeah, because it's in the same spot. I was just checking, because one of the things, obviously, with all of the mobile stuff, you get the different refresh rates, so you get that screen tear stutter crap going on. But this is good. There's something weird just about the horizontal scan lines on this. Like, I like it, but I'm almost wishing, like, I almost think the other scan lines are better.
I gotta blow this up to see. Oh, you have the scan lines. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, I think it kind of looks like garbage. I hate artificial scan lines. I don't know. I've never seen them where I was like, yeah, that looks really good. Even, well, I actually, especially the Super NT hybrid scan lines that I messed around with, I thought it looked no good. Like, I didn't understand the point. But that's just my personal preference. I don't know. It's nothing, not a knock on the Super NT. I just don't really like that look.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth between no scan lines because I mean I have a pretty. I'm lucky enough to have found that TV for that great deal. But A1, something about like if you look at the tile blocks on the left-hand side, it just I don't know. Sometimes it looks great and it feels like it makes it look like I'm playing on the Game Boy Advance, and other times I'm just like, I don't know.
What is the significance of the letters, like A versus B?
I forgot to ask. I think well, A is both vertical and horizontal scan lines to make it look like an actual GBA, and B is just horizontal scan lines. But I don't know what 1, 2, or 3 might just simply be the
intensity.
Intensity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave them off for a little bit. If anybody in the chat has a request on what they want to see, I could do it. I guess I should also do the different shaders too. So.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even talk about like what shader and palette is, because I'm not super.
Well,
familiar.
palette is the for Game Boy Color and more. I think palette is really just for Game Boy games.
Right. Okay.
And shader is how the Game Boy Advance colors are interpreted, because that's something Extremis was paying a lot of attention to on the Game Boy interface, in that, you know, a lot of the games were made extra bright just to compensate for the really dim screen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. I forgot when you jump off of this, now you're gonna go all the way the fuck back. Oh well.
Yeah, in addition to not owning a Sega CD Model 1, I also have never owned a Game Boy Advance.
Really?
Yeah. My first Nintendo Portable was a DS Lite, I think it was.
Huh. Did you have a Game Gear as a kid or something? You're not that much younger than me.
Yeah, I had a Game Gear.
Gotcha.
I haven't tried turning it on in a long time. I just got it kind of packed away. I'm sure that it needs to be recapped and fixed.
That screen, even as a kid, I remember how terrible that screen was.
Yeah. I had that whole, like, travel kit that you could buy that came with, like, a big briefcase and the power adapters.
That big-ass power adapter, right?
Yeah, magnifying glass and all this crap. Yeah, I never even had that many games for it. It was just something I would play in the car when we'd go on vacation, mostly.
You know, it's funny, I don't know if it's just a coincidence or something, but a lot of the Nintendo memories I have for the Game Boy was, you know, of course, banging out some Tetris, which is awesome, but I do remember spending, like, lots of time on Mario and Zelda. And then for Game Gear, I did play the Sonics, but I just, for whatever reason, I felt like it was more of the arcade style, grab your Master Gear converter and play for 10 minutes type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how I felt. I would be surprised if I ever had a game that I owned that I actually played to completion on Game Gear when I don't remember, but
I tried. I remember liking Chuck Rock a lot. I don't know. I think there's a pretty good Genesis version of it too.
the one game I remember playing a ton of was called Asterix.
Really? I never played that one.
I had the Sonic, and then I had some sports games that I would play. I guess those are, you know, were pretty short. You could play like a 9-inning game of baseball pretty quick, but
Yeah, Clutch Hitter. Was that the name of the game? Clutch Hitter or something? It was definitely a
don't
baseball
remember.
game I enjoyed. And that's actually one of the few two-player games that they had for it. But did you ever play two-player with any handheld console?
I mean, just on the 3DS. Like, I've played local Mario Kart and Smash.
No, I think as a kid, once, my neighbor brought over his adapter and we played Tetris. But it was not a thing.
You know, I think I may have... I'm trying to remember. I think I played, like, a local multiplayer game on a calculator where we hooked up two calculators together.
You nerd.
Back when you'd get the TI-86 so you could play Tetris during math class.
I could never afford one of those.
It was like required for our certain classes.
I think it was for me too, and I just never used it.
Yeah, it was not super important, like, to have those. It would just be like for a few questions on certain tests that you'd actually need a calculator for. For the most part, you could get by without them. Jeez, Bob, you're getting wrecked here.
Am I? I wonder how long the delay is, because I have it set for decent quality.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
I was
like a
watching
minute.
you in the fire pit, just constantly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I made it. Whatever.
Yeah, you're good.
I haven't died yet. With every time you get to those Chozo statues, you get power-ups. That kind of feels like cheating to me, though. Especially with all the...
yeah, you're fully restored.
Yeah, especially after all the time as a kid I spent just shooting those stupid things, trying to get power-ups. Spent 10 minutes in the same spot.
Alright, let me check out the chat, see if there's anything cool going on here.
Yeah, you were supposed to be watching the chat.
Yeah, whatever.
Hopefully I'll have like a better setup in my my new apartment when I move, so I could just... It won't be this weird, awkward angle of my camera. I'll actually be able to just sit down and play without taking 20 minutes to set up all these stupid wires.
Extrem says, don't get any of the current GameCube HDMI solutions.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to talk about that. He is correct though. Yeah, there's some cool stuff happening, but
Yeah, I mean, so I know that Badass Consoles has pointed out some issues with the firmware. Like, the color thing seems super minor that he showed to me. This was, of course, like 4 months ago. I haven't heard from him.
talk to him this morning.
I haven't heard from him in a long time. He was showing me things several months ago, earlier in the year. One was like, for example, the color in the what's that game? The game where you're like slowly going crazy.
Yeah. The title screen is the easiest place to see it too, right?
Yeah, it was like a small tint, but I mean that wasn't big enough for me to say like this firmware sucks or anything.
Switch to shader A2 now.
So I don't know if there are other things, like other huge issues. That one seemed relatively minor to me.
We were actually talking about extremes this morning because there is a the way the game. I'm gonna explain it wrong. Everybody's gonna roll their eyes at me when I say this, but it's basically the way the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Player outputs video. Extremes did some very, very cool shit in order to make it work the way he did. So, and that's why it's one of the reasons why just a basic GC video solution has issues with it. But it's kind of funny too because I think people don't seem to realize how many people wanted GC video just for the Game Boy interface software.
Right. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, I haven't messed around with the Eon product since I got it. You know, I played with it a bunch, a few hours back then, but I haven't had time to.
Well, you will now.
Yeah, I got 2 weeks now. So maybe I'll play some GameCube games. Maybe I'll give another shot to Beautiful Joe. I always got just so goddamn frustrated with that game last time I played it. I forgot how far I got, but it was just like destroying me. I was like, I can't play this game anymore. Pretty tough game.
Man, I am just so impressed overall with this thing. And it just, I was saying before, when I first started the website, one of the things I was obsessed with was getting the best Game Boy Advance solution just to play this in Fusion. And I guess now that Castlevania game I like too, but I was obsessed with getting Game Boy Advance output just to play a handful of games, and every solution had a major issue with it. And now we have the Game Boy interface and this. We went from having garbage solutions to 2 awesome ones. Very cool.
Wait, what were the issues in the past?
So the original Game Boy player could only do 480i and 480p, and it didn't really look that great. And I noticed some lag. I don't know if it's as bad as I made it out to be, but it wasn't a great solution. And then you had that innovation adapter, which is it only outputted 480i, and it wasn't bad, but the 480i really would give me a headache. And then they had that one that plugs into a Super Nintendo where it only outputs composite, and I think it was like $25 at one point, which for $25 you can't really complain that much, but still it wasn't great. And I can't. There was a couple other bullshit solutions. The Wide Boy 64. That elusive, I almost got a chance to buy one once for $500, and I skimped out, and now they all go for $1,000. And somebody who bought one, they bought it for the right reasons. They bought it because they wanted to, for the collector side of things. But they were nice enough to let me borrow it, and it was good, but it wasn't great. I mean, it was a bunch of things I definitely felt, the sound was lacking, but it wasn't a terrible solution, but not for $1,000, unless you were just doing it as a collector.
Right.
I'm really, actually, believe it or not, Badass Consoles has my GameCube, so I haven't done much. The only GBI testing I've done is on Scott's recently, but there's so many new features I want to screw around with, like being able to record.
Why does he have your GameCube? Is he installing a GC video on it?
It was originally sent to him for a GC Video internal install, and then I told him hold off because I want the external, and then I told him I wanted him to put one of those, maybe not an optical drive emulator, but at least just an SD card reader in it, so I don't have to boot the Action Replay. So I think he's sending me that relatively soon. But I've been using Scott's to test GBI, so I've missed testing some of the really cool stuff. But I want to test where you could actually record your gameplay footage right on the SD card.
So you talked to him this morning, which I'm surprised. I thought he was dead.
He's not dead. He's working his butt off trying to get things back into production.
He hasn't posted on Twitter since January. So are we going to hear from him again soon?
I am not allowed to comment that yes, you will be hearing from him soon.
Good, man. Oh, there he is.
Badass Consoles is here? What's up, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm planning something kind of fun that I don't want to talk about until it's ready. But,
Nice.
I
I was just saying,
fuck, I went in the wrong direction, didn't I? I had to get there.
we haven't heard from you in a while on the twatters. Just wanted to make sure you weren't dead.
Alright, I think I got myself lost. I think I gotta go back, go all the way left again.
I thought you played this game like 15 times, Bob.
I know, man, but I played a lot of games a lot of times. It's been, I mean, it's probably been a full year since I played this.
Badass says you have a gag order / NDA. Did you sign something, Bob? I told you to run everything by me before you signed it.
Well, it might be a gag order, but I don't think I signed anything. But I never tell anybody's business anyway.
That's good. I gotta read some of this chat. I let it get too far.
Uh-oh.
GBI had some problems. Homebrew from the Smoke Monster pack. Is that one of the issues?
Can you elaborate? Like GBI had issues with homebrew Game Boy Advance games?
I assume.
My testing has fallen short for that, but
Okay.
everything that I've tested worked fine.
Badass Council says he doesn't log on to Twitter because I retweet things too much.
I don't disagree with him on that.
Anthony Spencer says I look like I have the post Taco Bell sweats. Dude, I'm not sweating at all. That was a small meal for me from Taco Bell.
I'm jealous. I love me some Taco Bell.
Oh, me too, man. I love Taco Bell. It's...
You know, all the ones that I've been to around here are the ones that are combined with other stores.
Yeah, so
you,
you gotta avoid that.
yeah, you can't get any of the
Taco
good
Bell,
shit.
KFC, no good.
Hate it.
No good.
I swear to God, I walked into one and said, hey, can I get the fries? And like, we don't have the fries. Well, all right, well, let me just get a beef burrito. And the guy goes, we're out of beef. Like, what the fuck? Goodbye. I'm leaving.
Fries are actually gone. That was a limited time thing. Those are gone.
I never got to try them. Were they just French fries with, different sauce on them or something?
I mean, they had a pretty decent seasoning on them. They weren't just like McDonald's French fries.
I missed it.
And then they came with the cheese sauce, I think, but I didn't really use it because it was pretty disgusting, honestly.
I honestly never eat pump cheese. I love
Yeah.
cheese, but it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's totally fake cheese. But yeah, the fries are good by themselves. Yeah, Taco Bell is awesome. I had, like, I'm really into their box solution. Like, they constantly have rotating, box of like 3 or 4 items and plus a drink
yeah.
for $5. So I got the chalupa box today. Wasn't super excited about a chalupa. I think it was the first chalupa I ever had. Not that great. Yeah.
I like it. I do like the boxes though. KFC had that $5 fill-up box or whatever.
I don't know what that is. I haven't had KFC in a minute, man. It's been a while.
Dude, when I lost my job, I was living off of shit like the fill-up boxes and like somebody left when I say a box of chips, like a box with the mini bags of chip in it in the office. Like, hey, you want it? We're moving out. And that was like every time I'd go into the office, that was my lunch. Just 2 of those little bags.
I would get KFC back in the day in college. I would get the Snackers when I was poor. $1 Snackers.
I'm going in the wrong direction like a total idiot. At least I got some more power-ups and stuff. God damn it. I'm a complete moron.
Somebody said Taco Bell prevents a long, healthy life. I totally disagree. Someone said Taco Bell is bottom of the barrel.
No, there's so much
totally
worse out
disagree.
there. There's
Taco
so
Bell,
much worse.
it's just, I don't know why it gets such a bad rap. I think it's people that just haven't actually had Taco Bell and don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Agreed.
Taco Bell is actually pretty good. McDonald's is pretty shit.
Yeah.
Burger King is solid. Wendy's is really good. I think Taco Bell is really good too. And KFC, I'm not a fan of. At least not in the U.S. KFC overseas, like in Asia, is pretty good actually. But they really love KFC over there, so their KFC is totally different.
You know what I thought was funny? The first time I went to Taiwan, I noticed that on every corner there was a 7-Eleven. And it happened to be the chain that made it over there first. But that always cracked me up. Like, what the hell? Like, I would never have expected to go all the way on the other side of the planet, and there's freaking 7-Elevens everywhere I go.
I think in Japan they're called just 7s, if I remember correctly. There's no 11 part. I think Kirk Goodman says Taco Bell literally uses grade F meat, you idiots. So I'm pretty sure that Kirk Goodman doesn't know what the word literally means. Like most millennials.
Badass Consoles the other day was he was like, hey man, I gotta give you some constructive criticism. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, you use the words actually and literally too much. I'm like, you know, I actually literally think you're a dick. But in all seriousness, he's completely right, and I blame the millennials for literally. I don't really remember why I say actually too much. I'm working on it though. I'm trying to pay attention, not sound so dumb all the time.
Actually.
A friend of mine years ago dated this chick who was not very smart but loved pretending that she was. And she would say although at the end of sentences. And the first couple times she did it, I just stared at her like, and then I looked at him, and I finally, like, she went to the bathroom or something. I was like, why does she keep saying although? So it's like, yeah, you know, I got this new dress, you know, it's feels a little weird when I'm riding on the motorcycle. Although, and I asked her about it, he's like, yeah, she says it because she thinks it makes her sound smart. Oh my God, you date the dumbest chicks I've ever seen.
I don't know why that would make someone feel like they...
Don't try to
sound
analyze
smart.
it, it'll just make your head hurt.
Yeah.
It made my head hurt when I kept asking him questions about it.
Anthony Spencer says U.S. McDonald's is so much worse than Australian McDonald's. I believe it. I've had McDonald's in other countries. It was a little bit better, but not like a huge difference.
The grossest food I've ever had in my entire life, and I think I've showed you pictures of some of the stuff I've eaten. By far, without a doubt, is McDonald's from Shenzhen, China. It was just like I can't even begin to describe how gross it was. It was horrifying. And then somebody like years later showed me pictures of supposedly how they get the beef from McDonald's in China, and it's basically like a bunch of dead chickens strapped to the back of a bicycle. I don't know if that's true or not. That could have been one of those, like, you know, fake news, whatever, but it just, like, oh, it did not make me happy.
I think I had McDonald's in Kyoto, and I was super hungover, and it was okay. I didn't have complaints, but it wasn't nothing amazing. I prefer when I can find Burger Kings overseas. Burger King, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, really reminds me of the U.S. It's like a nice comfort food. Let's see, what else we got here? Was she actually dumb, literally, or figuratively? That's from Badass Consoles.
Of course it was. Oh, that's right. Isn't the trick I gotta bomb and then go back?
Richard Ignowski says the Taco Bell fries were great. I totally agree. They were great.
Shit.
A little on the salty side, I'll be honest. They were a little too salty, but I like the seasoning overall. Taco Bell's doing a lot of things lately where it's limited time. Like that's their new gimmick, I guess.
Oh yeah? Did they steal the idea from limited run games?
Yeah, that's right. You millennials keep enjoying your low-quality food and early death with no children. I will certainly do that. That would be awesome.
I am actually not a millennial, so you can fuck right off. I'm 1 year out, apparently.
You're 80?
81. I thought it was 82.
No, 81's totally millennial. That's the start. That's the first year. Sucker. I'm 85 myself. So So I'm square in the millennial category. Let's see. A&W is pretty good too. I agree, but it's like super hard to find. The only time I've ever eaten at an A&W is like in a rural part of the U.S.
I don't think I've ever eaten at one.
It's the only place I actually like A&W root beer. If you buy A&W root beer in a can or in a 2-liter, it's no good. But if you get it straight off the tap, then it's solid.
Did you ever eat at a place called Shoney's?
Shoney's? No, I've never heard of that.
Oh, I had these grandparents on my dad's side that were like the cheapest people you've ever met in your entire life. And they, for my birthday every year, would send me a coupon to Shoney's, even though there were no Shoney's at all where I lived. And I finally tried one years later. I mean, this was only like 3 years ago that I finally actually got to one. And it's this garbage, I don't even know how I'd describe it. It's like buffet-style garbage food. It's the weirdest thing. I was just like, and they had long dead by the time I actually ate at one, and I'm glad because I'd have been like, you people are fucking crazy. How the hell did you give me that for my birthday as a little kid? Number one, knowing that there was, no way I could have actually gone to one. But what if I did? That's poison.
One year I got as a birthday present from an aunt. I hope she's not watching this. A Red Lobster gift card for like $5.
Dude.
Which I threw in the garbage. I was like, I'm not doing that.
So Justin, the guy that was just
$5
on, I met him through his wife, who I met at this one company that we both worked at together. And I coordinated like the IT move of 2 departments, and like I did this huge project, and I worked my butt off. And then when we got into the new building, the like senior vice president or something said a very public thank you to me in front of everybody, and I thought it was the nicest thing. I was like, wow, like these people suck, but they're nice enough to at least say thank you. This is really great. And he was like, and I want to give you something to show our appreciation. In my head, I'm stunned because these people were very cheap. They didn't give bonuses. They were very mean to their employees, and I was just like, wow, I'm getting a bonus? Like this is unheard of. And I took the envelope and he presented it to me like like I had just won some crazy award. And I get back to my desk, I open it up, and it was a $20 gift certificate to the Outback.
Nice.
Like the cheapest thing on the menu was like, it wouldn't pay for the cheapest thing in one beer. I was so insulted. I went from like, wow, it was really nice. Maybe this company isn't as bad as I thought, to, yeah, they are. Fuck you people.
I don't think I've ever eaten at Outback. I assumed it was cheaper than that, but I guess I'm wrong.
My favorite thing there is the chicken, but a good friend of mine is Australian, so he never wants to go because then they all want to talk to him and ask him questions and practice their accents when they're talking.
That's weird.
It's, dude, you think it's weird me telling you? Let's see how weird it is when you're sitting next to him and they're like, they usually first think he's messing with them. And then when they realize he's actually Australian, it gets super weird super quick.
Let's see. Let's go through some of the chat here. We got Team Spooky After Hours by Saban.
Yeah, that's Arturo. He just texted me. What's up, dude? Good to hear from you.
He said, "Sup, Bob?"
Yeah, I gotta meet with him soon. I gotta pick his brain on a lot of the stuff I've been working on.
Dave Kirscher thought Shoney's was fictional for Rick and Morty.
No, sadly, it's real.
Fun fact, the quarter pounder in Brazil is called street block.
Street block? Huh. I would not have guessed that. I was impressed enough with the Royale with cheese.
The metric system? You a smart motherfucker, that's right.
I love that movie.
Yeah, great movie. Does Woozle link cable still work on it?
Woozle link cable? I don't know. Oh, does the Game Boy Advance link cable still work on Woozles?
Yeah.
That's a good question, and I don't know because I think because he changes the timing just a hair, if Extrems is in there, he might actually know the answer to this, but I think it won't work because the link cable uses some of the GBA timing.
Yeah, that's what Extrem said that. I'd expect multiplayer not to work with the overclock.
Thanks, dude.
Sabin says, let's go, Bob. We'll hang out soon.
Hell yeah, man. Nick, you gotta come up here and see some of the fighting tournaments those guys put on. It is intense. It's awesome.
Yeah, maybe I'll make it up there. What are you doing, like, Memorial Day week?
That's the week after next, right?
Yeah.
I think I'll be home. I might be taking a trip, but I think I'll be home.
When's Steve visiting you? The weekend of the 26th?
The week from today.
He's coming on the 25th?
If that's a week from today, then yes.
We'll see.
Yeah, waiting for Dan, Citrus 3000 PSI. He's going to be here the same day. So I was actually going to talk to iFix Arcade and see if we could do something. I don't know if there's already an event there or anything, but it's definitely be a fun place to go hang out. Just grab a case of beer and play some video games.
Is Steve staying with you, or he's just hanging out with you and staying with, like, his brother or something?
I think he's staying with his brother and he's going to meet up with me.
Cool.
I literally live in a room. Literally, Michael, literally live in a room. So it's no room for anybody to stay unless you want to sleep 5 feet away from me and listen to me to fart all night.
As long as it's head to toe.
No, we sleep ass to mouth here.
In Australia, Burger King is called Hungry Jack's. Apparently.
I wonder why.
Ace is here.
Hey, what's up, Ace?
I bet Puzzle Fighter would look pretty spiffy on this. I don't know what Puzzle Fighter is, but...
I don't either. Oh, I forgot to change the palette. 4.
Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go take a whiz, get another beer.
Man, I love this game, but it's been a long time since I played it. I'm probably making a whole bunch of mistakes. The one thing I always noticed is all the speedrunners will blow through a lot of enemies and take damage. And I very often will sit there and kill everybody one by one. It's definitely shorter just to blow through, but I'm wondering if there's like a better way to play it or something. Shit. Shit. And for anybody who's joining, this is on normal, not on easy, but I didn't have, I don't think I beat it yet on this cart, so I didn't have access to hard mode. Which is why I'm killing them so much quicker than I probably should have. You missed the Kraid fight.
So how long is this game?
I'm only going to be able to stream for probably no more than another half hour. But it's probably another hour left. If I was good, I would have beaten it already, but I'm just mediocre at it. So, and I'm out of practice.
That's a pretty short game then.
Yeah.
Philippe asked if I washed my hands. No. You only have to wash your hands after number 2, not number 1.
You know, not to be gross or anything, but some of the really, really disgusting bathrooms around here, it's actually way more sanitary to just touch my junk than it is to touch the sinks or anything else. So, yeah.
Have you worked at offices where there are people who will just not wash their hands after going to the bed? Like, let's accept for a moment that there are people out there who are gonna go to the bathroom and not wash their hands. But if you are in a public bathroom and there's somebody else in there, wouldn't you at least put on a wash for show?
I used to work with a guy, a vice president, who every time you'd end up in the bathroom with him, he would walk up to the sink, walk up, and walk away. He would have, you know, there would be...
You just turn the water on and not even put his hands on it?
No, his hands would be in, but it would just be a splash of water, no soap, no scrubbing. So it's probably making it worse. It was very disgusting. And he was the senior vice president of a company.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. I don't get that. It's a bold move. Maybe it's a show of power. Maybe it's like, hey, I don't have to wash my hands, fuck you, type thing.
It's a very Trump-sounding thing to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I've definitely been in bathrooms where guys will come out of the stall and just walk right out, and they're like, fuck it, I don't care.
It always cracks me up with the people that will just have full conversations in a public bathroom while they're taking a shit. Like, I don't know.
But they're on the phone with someone, or they're talking to the person next to them?
You know what? I don't know which is more or less creepy, but I've seen both quite a lot. It's different if you're at home, right? Because at least you could have that, you know, you could try to tell yourself that no one knows that you're on the shitter. But you're just sitting there in public, and yeah, it's weird. What did I miss?
Nick, I'm more concerned with the people that don't understand that our toilets require sitting. I guess I'm not sure what you mean by that. Does that mean they're...
Oh, no, that is absolutely, definitely a thing. From people who grew up in countries where it was always squat toilets. But don't realize that you have to sit to go, and sometimes have a very hard time going if they're not squatting. So they'll just stand on the toilet and break it. That's actually a thing. That was one of the companies in Stamford that was hiring a lot of people from India. The toilets kept breaking, and they couldn't figure out why. And then they eventually figured out that's why.
Huh. I've used those squatty toilets during my time abroad, and I will say I'm not a fan.
I have in Taiwan, yeah.
I know that they're supposedly better for you, but hard pass. If I have the choice, I will avoid them.
So I know there's a delay, but for anybody watching, all of the gray area on this Kraid map, I don't think there's anything worth getting. Maybe another missile or two. But if somebody wants to chime in the chat, I'm probably going to just hit up one of the areas, whatever's the easiest to get to. But I think that it's mostly just wasted space. Meridia is like that in Super Metroid. Meridia very much feels like an unfinished section.
So the guy who I called Philippe before wants me to call him Kenji.
Oh, it's Kenji?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, dude? That's the guy that did the opening and all the animations for my podcast. And the other week, he actually gave me a lesson on how to suck less. And I had time to take some of his suggestions, but not all. But I'm working on it.
So, my apologies for getting that wrong. Let's see what else we got here. Kron 1000 says, I don't poop at work, which I find to be very foolish because you can get paid to poop, which is awesome.
Kron 1000? I wonder if is that the Kron? If that's the Kron, post in the chat. There is somebody named the Kron.
Are you the Kron?
Are you the Kron? Not just a Kron, the Kron.
Sorry if this has been covered already, but am I right in saying GBI and GC component cable would likely render better results than Woozle solution on 1080p screens?
Say that one more time.
Would GBI with a GameCube component cable be a better result than Woozle solution on a 1080p screen?
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I guess if
comparisons
you put it
haven't
through an
been done yet.
OSSC, then you could do 240p into the OSSC, and then you could do like a 5x mode. So yeah, it might. It actually might.
Whatever. We're chipping at the edges here, right? Like, both are really good solutions. So.
Yeah, I think I don't know, one of the things that I definitely wanted to test, because anytime I do... Oh no, I gotta fucking deal with that.
So no, he's not the Kron.
Oh, alright. Oh, that's right, I remember this now.
Have you ever been so scared of toilet surroundings that you performed a hover? I have not been, because if I've been that scared, I will just not use that toilet. So I won't do a hover.
Do you know how long it took me to learn how to do that? The directional fucking... I'm sure people who are really good at this game are laughing at me like, you moron, but it took a long time for me to learn how to do that. The one thing that I would want to test is analog versus digital. So I'm wondering, like, if the open source scan converter ever ended up with a digital input, I think it would be really cool to test that out and see how 240p Game Boy interface through through HDMI into the OSSC to 1080p. That might actually be better. It's just a matter of every time I go to analog, I sometimes see a difference. So. Oop, I think I got about 10 minutes left. Alright, so I guess let me just finish up with whatever I missed in Kraid, and then I guess I'll call it a day.
Cool. If you could rank the Metroid games as fast food chains, what would your rank be? That's from Kenji.
I don't know, man, but I'll tell you, Super Metroid's my favorite. I think Zero Mission might be my second favorite, just because it's all of the awesomeness of the original with, the Super Metroid style gameplay, and Metroid Fusion's a close second. But I know a lot of people that would argue that Fusion's better than Zero Mission.
I think the best Metroid is Other M.
I like Other M.
Yeah, actually, I don't think it's the best Metroid, but I don't think it's as bad as the rap it gets.
No,
I thought
definitely
it was decent.
I was always hoping they would do some kind of HD remake of it too, so I could play it in 1080p.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I thought it was decent. Yeah, I really liked Metroid Prime, the first one. I had a lot of fun with that.
So there's nothing down here other than death.
And I guess the Metroid that came out recently, the AM2R, but the official one.
No.
I was not a big fan of.
I didn't hate it, but I liked AM2R so much better.
So I never played AM2R. I don't know how it was, but I felt like that game was very repetitive. A lot of just countering bullshit until you got strong enough to not have to do that anymore.
You mean the official one?
Yeah, the official one.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. You know, now that I think about it, if you were to somehow find a way to get AM2R in 240p on a monitor, I think I might actually call that my second favorite, to be honest with you. The music is so good. Oh, that's right, this thing really.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's not a game I would ever revisit. The official one. I can't even remember what it's called anymore.
The only reason I might, if there's ever like a way to play it on a big TV, I might revisit it just for the heck of it, but that's about it. Oh. So I got about 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions or anything for Nick or I?
Samus Returns, that's what it was called. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very meh.
Alright, so I think I got a little bit more. I'll complete the Kraid level, and then I'll save and finish this up probably Sunday.
Kenji says, AM2R is not fast food, it's a homemade burger. I guess I'll have to try that and then compare it to Samus Returns.
Ooh. How am I doing this?
How did you play AM2R, Bob?
I played it in 240p through the arcade VGA card, and I played it on a PVM 20M2U.
Okay.
I would like to play it in. I would like to find out whatever widescreen 240p is and play that on my D series BVM. All right, how the hell do I get over here? This is like the last thing before I can finish up. I have 2 more rooms to, or I don't. I have to go the other way to get here, don't I? Son of a bitch.
I have no idea. I've never played this game.
It's so upsetting that you haven't played this game.
I haven't played a lot of games, man.
Too busy working on them Dreamcast cables?
Shut up, Bob. Well, I will give a little spoiler alert for the 80 people that have decided joining chat here. In a few, I don't know, maybe minutes, maybe a couple hours, I'm gonna put the new batch of PlayStation 2 3 cables up for sale. So pay attention. They're not gonna sell out, so not a big deal. But in case you're interested, we'll put those up soon.
How did I miss this before? Good dork. I know I didn't need to do this to get here, but I am a bit of a completionist, I guess.
I don't know what you're doing.
I just wanted to clear the rooms out so that I was able to say that I got all the rooms in Kraid. And I got everything now. So I'm just gonna run up and save, and then, yeah, we'll probably finish Sunday night or something. I gotta remember the fastest way out. Oh yeah, up and to the left. I should, do you have a Game Boy Advance EverDrive?
Nope, I don't have a Game Boy Advance, so why would I have an EverDrive?
Because you should have the Game Boy interface for your GB, or for your GameCube. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I should get that. At some point I will. I keep seeing the Game Boy, the hardware with the, without the CD for pretty cheap.
Yeah, there's no reason at all to even have the CD anymore.
Yeah. Gold Saturn asked if any word on Xbox component cables. It's a great question. We are going to send some samples to our contract manufacturer to find some connectors. That's always like the hardest part for these, like with the PlayStation cables. Getting that connector was pretty tough because you don't want one that's going to rip shit out of the console, and a lot of the third-party stuff is just designed wrong. So we're going to send some Xbox samples out soon. because a lot of people have been telling us they want a new Xbox component cable. So I think we'll try to get that done. Same thing with Wii. We'd like to make those too before they get crazy expensive. So yeah, it's not going to be anytime soon, but we're in the process of working on that.
Well, I love this thing. I think if you want a simple way to play Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color, this is probably the easiest, just because you really just need to buy this kit. It doesn't have all the crazy features of Game Boy interface, but that might mean different things for different people. The shaders are cool. I like the original skater with with scan lines on, because the original shader is all bright and it pops through the scan lines. And I think I've been liking the I guess A3 or.
So how difficult is the installation on this thing? Like beginner to expert?
It's easier than Ultra HDMI, that's for damn sure.
That thing is super difficult though.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't done the install myself. I want to soon, but I think Jason from Game Tech would probably have more insight on that.
Okay, so
well,
probably not a beginner kit.
Yeah. Well, that's about it for this one. I got halfway through, probably more, less than halfway through. But thank you, Nick. You're a gorgeous co-host.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for watching the chat.
What I can.
Yeah, I'll be. I want to do more things like this, especially after I move into my new apartment, and I could actually do things like this without so much setup.
When's that going to be? When are you moving?
June 15th. It got pushed back a month and a half, which is insane, but whatever.
Are you moving across town or same building or?
Same building, just a real people-sized apartment. It's still a small apartment, but normal for Manhattan standards. But the
Nice.
people who live there now are they're closing on a house or something, so their closing keeps getting pushed back, as happens with that shit. So That's why my shit keeps getting pushed back. So what can you do? But once I get in there, I'll get everything set up, and then that way, anytime I want to stream, I can just flip a switch. So I have a lot of very cool things that I've been wanting to show the world, and I haven't had time to do any kind of like reviews or in-depth stuff. So I think something like this is pretty cool, because it's just very laid back, and you get to see what the Woozle's GBA HDMI looks like, and I don't have to do anything formal. So I hope to do a lot more little things like this. But.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like the laid back stuff is cool. I think like with retro roundtable stuff that we do, doing like a more laid back episode every once in a while is gonna make it more enjoyable too. So it's
Absolutely.
good stuff. I think people like just hanging out and chatting and not necessarily having to listen to deep technical conversation every time.
Yeah, or to just throw it in there. Either way.
Yeah, just like mixing it up's good. So that's cool.
Well, thanks to everybody who joined. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the short notice, but I didn't even know I was doing it until I realized I had some extra time. Thank you, Nick, and Goodwill Hunter, Justin, also for jumping on. And let's do this again soon.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
See you later.
See you, everyone.